Good morning, everyone. I just listened to the first 10 minutes of the Quran. Very interesting. And the similarities to the Bible are okay. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, we seem to be, at least the first 10 minutes that I listened to, believe in the same thing. Yeah. So, besides reading the Bible, now I'm going to listen to the Quran for 10 minutes every day, right? Yes? Again, same thing there. It's as it is in the Bible on how God's personality and character is described. Is it really necessary to scare people into believing in God or Allah? Is it? I don't know. I guess people have to make up their own mind out there. But from what I've just seen, and their at the beginning is somewhat a little bit different, but the similarities are definitely there. Adam is mentioned, then his wife is mentioned, Lucifer is mentioned, and how that came to be, and then it's so kind of inspired me. Now I want to I've done that some years ago. Now I want to know a little bit about the Prophet Muhammad. Okay, who was he actually? And yeah, again, he can't help it if people. All right, so he put this Bible together as well, and seems to be that no, bloodshed's not something he should be doing. Yeah, okay, but the one thing that I was really surprised by was that Muhammad actually told his people, you can't do anything to the Christians. Right? And you don't get to persecute that faith. Probably because you realize too, well, it's kind of the same thing. So are we really separated by religions? Or the prophets that we had all over the world on different continents putting a religion together for people to follow and believe in. Is it really so different? Or do we want it to be different? So then again, we have excuses to act and do whatever we want. And it's interesting in the first 10 minutes of listening, there is on YouTube, you can go and it's someone's just reading the Quran in English. In English, again, people might go and say, well, that's not translated properly. I said, well, you know what? This is what I got, right? So anyway, interesting. It was interesting. So anyway, so I don't see again why we have to be so divided in this world. It seems to me, even though we're continents apart, we're all a people, and it seems to me that the guidance that has been given to everyone all around the world and on all the continents, yeah, Muhammad, Jesus. I think Jesus was the beginning of that, really, when it came down to it, on how it spread. And then different people picked it up, right? People who really had this connection to the other side, which I do believe, absolutely, I do believe, I know it exists. Right? My own life was all about that. And what did I do with it? So there is a common thread. Yes? Yeah. And sadly, again, who has the attention in all this? Right? Who does? And on how every religion has kind of taken on some of Lucifer's just absolutely, Satan's absolutely destructive ways. Even on living just together, even if you're not in an extremist group or this or that, taken everything out of context, there's still, why can't we just, this is how you learned about God, Allah. This is how I learned about God, Allah. Yes? And see, oh, wow, but really, when it comes down to it, it seems to be the same. We're being taught the same. Okay. Yeah, so why always infuse? It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, that fear of the gods. Anyway, interesting. I said, you're never done learning in so many ways. There was something else I wanted to share before I started reading here. You guys gonna help me out? Maybe it'll come later. I know that death of a loved one, any death of a person where others are left behind, kind of, it can be a really sad thing. I was going to share something there, and it's not coming, so maybe I need to wait with that one. Yes. Just if in case it's not coming back, because it's not, isn't meant for this right now. All I can tell everyone is that you got to remember that our time here is really, really short. It's not, and for some, the time is super short, and one can live with the spirits on the other side. We were sitting out on the porch last night, and it every so often it happens, and I notice that every time. And then somehow I also end up out on the porch when the sun started to go down every so often. And I know it scientifically it can all be explained, blah 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 blah. Okay, but we were sitting out there, and I'm looking, going, "Whoa, this is one of these times again." In a way, it's like the Twilight Zone. Okay, to me. Oh, now that's kind of eerie, isn't it? Yes, and it is. But it's also really beautiful if you don't let the eeriness get to you, right? And it's a time, right, where we know things are all three-dimensional out there, on Earth, this and that, but this becomes a four-dimensional time for me when I suddenly see, it's almost as if now in the physical, with all my senses that I have in the physical, not just the spiritual, of course they work together as well, I see a merging of two worlds, right? That's what it feels like to me. And as the sun kept going down, we were talking out there, and I looked again, it was just about getting dark, and it was still there. The feeling, like that on how it's almost visible that there is another side, right? It's really amazing if you pay attention to that. And it envelops everything. Sometimes, I've seen it sometimes in just a patch of grass or a branch moving where I'm going, that branch is not moving right there's something else going on. And but in like last night, it was all around, just amazing to get a glimpse, right, on, wow. So spirit world, what's it look like? Well, how does spirit world look like to you? You kind of have the images of whoever tells you, and then we have our own imagination. But what if you have a moment like that where you see, oh wow, as it is in heaven, so it is on earth, kind of thing. Anyway, and these are beautiful moments to me. I just, oof, wow, I'm getting this look inside and all around on what it is actually, the beauty that actually exists on the other side. Yes, in creation. So it's a look for it. Okay, look for it. Just again, what do I always say? Be aware of your surroundings, on how our heavenly parent, God, heavenly Father, our Father in heaven, works, and the spirits and the angels, on how they work around us. Right? Yes, for a good life, a happy life together, all around the world. We really can't do that, though. Right? Again, what did I just as I'm going to start? Well, I had the thought for a while. I'm going to start reading the Quran as well. I gave my 2 cents to it. And I started this morning. I had this, okay, I'm going to start after last night. I'm going to start this. And what did I find? Just saying. Right? Yeah. I know. Can it be done? So we're on Genesis 28. My pledge. It's in Korean. Can't read it. Then it is in English. Oh, let's do the first one. There. Family pledge. Number 1. Our family pledges to seek our original homeland and establish the original ideal of creation, the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, by centering on true love. Didn't say center on fear. There you go. Goes right along with what I just said. Probably goes along with what's coming up here. Maybe not. Maybe just means stay centered. Don't get too... Okay, all right. All right, Genesis 28. So Isaac summoned Jacob and blessed him. And he gave him this order. Blessed him again. Oh, doesn't say he was mad at him. Didn't even say anything. Oh, well, let's read on. Maybe he does. You are not to marry any of the Canaanite women. Go off to Padan Aram, the home of Bethuel, your mother's father, and there choose a wife for yourself from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Cousins again. Ooh, okay, well. May El Shaddai bless you. May he make you fruitful and make you multiply, so that you become a group of nations. May he grant you the blessing of Abraham, you and your descendants after you, so that one day you may own the country where you are now living as a stranger, which God gave to Abraham. Then Isaac sent Jacob away, and Jacob went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, and brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. I don't have anything to say to this. I mean, it's what it is, right? Another marriage of Esau. He doesn't have enough women yet. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to choose a wife there, and that in blessing him, he had... I love this Bible. It's got these worn pages. It's like this... It's becoming... It's got that brown outer or tan outer. I don't know. It's just something about a good Bible. Given him this order: you are not to choose a wife from the Canaanite women. And that, in obedience to his father and mother, Jacob had gone to Padan Aram. Esau then realized how much his father Isaac disapproved of the Canaanite women. So Esau went to Ishmael, and chose for a wife, in addition to the wives he had, Mahalath, daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael, and sister of Nebaioth. Nebaioth. Oh, so he got married to a half sister. No, wait a minute. If they were to a niece, he gets married to a half niece. Okay. Oh my gosh. Also, seriously, sometimes you just wonder, right? I wonder. Okay, now one wonders, right? At the time, this may have been just normal. As I said, science, well, where was science with all this? I don't know. Anywho, they sure like to get. Okay, all right, all right. So now Esau is trying to make good with, okay, mom and dad weren't happy with my wife. What, he didn't know that ahead of time? I mean, most of the time at that time, the children were given the wives and right. I mean, the parents chose in a way, and yes, no, but Esau obviously had kind of his own mind, not the filial son thing comes out. Well, I don't know. It's just the way it is written here. Kind of weird. I wonder how he kept all the women in line, but probably not. Jacob's dream. Okay. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. When he had reached a certain place, he stopped there for the night. Since the sun had set, taking one of the stones of that place, he made it his pillow and lay down where he was. Oh, so he left all on his own? Didn't take anybody with me, no servants, no this or that. Oh, okay. He had a dream. There was a ladder planted on the ground with its top reaching to heaven, and God's angels were going up and down on it. And there was Yahweh standing beside him and saying, I, Yahweh, am the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. Wait a minute. What? How does that make sense? I, Yahweh, am the God of Abraham. Oh, your father. Oh, Yahweh was Jacob's father. First I thought, wait a minute, what are you saying here? That's not Jacob's father. Okay. And the God of Isaac. The ground on which you are lying I shall give to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as plentiful as the dust on the ground. You will spread out to west and east, to north and south, and all clans on earth will bless themselves by you and your descendants. Oh, wait a minute. Ishmael was Jacob's. Wait a minute. Ishmael was Esau's uncle. Oh, okay. So let's see. Esau was Ishmael's nephew. All right. So it is it's still like, okay. Well, anyway, weird stuff going on when it comes to relationship stuff here. Oh, just have to go back to that one more time, right? I want to say it right. All right. It's important, it seems like, to know exactly who is and all that stuff. And here God again is telling Isaac, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, here, settle here, right? Your descendants will be as plentiful as the dust on the ground. You will spread out to west and east, to north and south, and all clans on earth will bless themselves by you and your descendants. That's nice. I like that. Be sure I am with you. I shall keep you safe wherever you go, and bring you back to this country. For I shall never desert you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly Yahweh is in this place, and I did not know. Oh. Jacob may have had little conscience pangs, right, about what he did. And yet, in a way, right, God's okay with it. So again, right, God's restoration plan, right? Yeah. Yet, I think all this can be done, right, by not deceiving and lying. And in a way, Jacob, right, I said, he didn't just take the birthright, Esau gave it to him. Now, so there's a foundation laid, right, to then, all right, now we're going to go from there. God's will and not mine, right? And what sometimes has to be done. But again, it has to be done on the side of goodness, not on the selfish side. Jacob has to suffer some now, right? He's laying there somewhere with his head on a stone in the desert or something. Couldn't have been easy, right? Anywho, he was afraid. Oh, he did not know, and he was afraid and said, "How awe-inspiring this place is! This is nothing less than the abode of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Realizing what a responsibility he has taken on, well, good. That's good. Early next morning, Jacob took the stone he had used for his pillow and set it up as a pillar, pouring oil over the top of it. He named the place Bethel, but before that the town had been called Luz. You know, to me it's always, okay, so he had the stone, and I get it, he had the dream on that stone, right? Yes. And so he's making it almost into a sacred object now. Is that necessary to do that? Isn't it more important to, when God gives us something, that we not suddenly put a mark on something that then, okay, that's marked by me now, or that belongs to Yahweh. Everything belongs to God already. It's silly to think it isn't that way. I think people should, in their heart, that's where that stone, that sacred stone, should find its place. The words of Yahweh, his continued belief in us. As we say, oh, we believe in God. But in a way, God truly believes in us, right? Even though. Anyway, right? So, yeah, object things. It's I tell you what, you get tested on that again and again, tested. Things will come up again and again on where one wants to, that is my possession, right? Yes. Is it really? Does it matter if it's yours or not? Right? Yes. I believe if one's heart to mind is in the right place, you will always have anything and everything that you actually need. I do believe that with all my heart. Not only do I believe it, I have experienced that all my life. Yes. Had to learn. Had to be consistent. Had to make sure I wasn't tempted. Right? Yes. Okay. But I always had everything. Always. Jacob then made this vow: if God remains with me and keeps me safe on this journey I am making, if he gives me food to eat and clothes to wear, and if I come home safe to my father's home, then Yahweh shall be my God. Ooh. Jacob's putting a condition on God. Yes? Okay. Well, I don't know. Again, is this said so that I don't know. I would not. That's something that I learned to never do. Oh, so I don't get disappointed if things don't work out in the way I want it to work out, right? Or, well, I made all these conditions, so now why aren't things working out if there is really a God? Right? Yeah, okay. What did I say in the beginning when one sees, actually, with the physical senses, perceives spirit world, suddenly sees the merging, right? of the world, of the spirit world and the physical world. That's where faith comes in too. You don't make conditions to God. You just don't. Because you know when you are really there to be a true son or a true daughter to God, it's you understand the will of God. You just do. And one doesn't make conditions towards God. One's just super grateful, yeah, to have moments like that on the porch last night. When one has suddenly says, oh, I needed that, right? And it kind of just, oh, okay. That's wonderful. Right? Yes? And I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm saying. My granddaughter this year for her 10th birthday said to her mom, I don't need presents. I'm not interested in presents. I'm sure she was happy to get the ones she got anyway. But I would just like her birthday's on Halloween. I would like to have, and my daughter did that last year for the first time. She made a little haunted hallway. She says, I just would like to have another haunted hallway and family and friends there for my birthday. That's all she wanted. Said to her mom, I don't need presents. That's what that's kind of the difference. You see? Yes. Yeah. So, not sure. Is it a good idea of Jacob to make these conditions towards God? God's already promised him. Hey, keep me in your heart to mind. Teach others about that as the leader of the people that you will be. And then you will also be able to return home. That wasn't enough for Jacob. Again, I'm just saying that's how it is in here. Right? Yeah. So, it's I'm learning a lot from this. Also on who, right? Why maybe Jesus had to give his life. What God had to deal with. These are very difficult people to deal with. It seems like. Well, anyway. Yep, all right. You a tenth of part. Okay. Jacob then made this vow. Okay, there you go. There you go. A faithful pay you a tenth of part of everything you give me. All right. Oh, and here's the tithing comes up. I'm not sure what God's going to do with all that. It's already all his. Okay. Oh, that's it. Let's read that last part one more time. That's a short one. Guess because there was so much to talk about. Jacob then made this vow, if God remains with me and keeps me safe on this journey I'm making, if he gives me food to eat and clothes to wear, and if I come home safe to my father's home, then Yahweh shall be my God. Oh, as I said, makes a condition. You can only be my God if this stone I have set up as a pillar is to be a house of God, and I shall faithfully pay you a tenth of part of everything you give me. I don't know. God must have lots of possessions and money and I don't know what up in heaven. I guess one of the first things I'm going to ask when I go to spirit world, where's your treasure cove? I'm not sure. I mean, what? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm sure. I was raised as well as a child and I was, I guess, groomed and taught well to give to the church a, a a certain amount of money. And as a child, you were taught by, you always had at least a quarter with you, right, or something, to drop in the little collection basket. And and then there were times where you had these little bags that you saved your money in and then handed it over to the church as well. I'm not sure what they did with it. It seems like it was collected for a certain charity or whatever, but who knows if the money really went there. And okay, what am I doing right now? If you give from truly from your heart, right, then it shouldn't matter. You have done. They give you, well, this is going to go to children. This is going to go to, right, sick people. This is going to go to whatever. Yeah, and you want to believe that. You'd hope that people of the clergy wouldn't lie to you. Well, as a child, I never took that under consideration. I was so naive in so many different ways. Okay, which was a blessing too. And still, in many ways, some things I just went, that can't be true. People don't do that. I go read up on it and go, people do that. Never knew about that. But yeah, you're kind of, yeah, taught to give. In a way, you're taught to give in religion, but how are we taught to give? Right? And where to give? I ended up always making sure that I had a little extra and set that aside so that when someone would come and say, I didn't even ask, but just, oh, having a little hard time, this and that, I would go, hey, here, just take it. I got, this is exactly for. And that was my tenth. That was my tithing to God, to help out. 9/10 was given to me already. Yeah, through my hard work, this, that, other hard work, other people's hard work, working with me on certain things, this, that, but right? I had so much already. Yes. And so here, and it would always, the timing also of these things was always pretty amazing. It's like, it's about time, huh? To keep that relationship with God. 9/10. Right? If you have a faithful heart towards our heaven and Father in heaven, the creator of it all, the one who actually owns everything, you're provided for in so many different ways, then to know where to give that one little part that you have to someone who needs a tenth. Because maybe in their life there's only 8/10 right now. You see how that works? Or 9/10, right? And they need that one. Isn't that something? See, again, with the tithing, one looks at, well, you have to because it's in the Bible, but how is that really understood? How truly is that understood? It is set up in Genesis by Jacob. God didn't ask him to do that. But in a way, it also, to me, oh, are we all kind of, in a way, contributing to each other's 10/10ths, 9/10ths? And the 10/10 needs to be distributed again, yes, somewhere, an even flow. Right, yes. Okay. Well, one can think about it any which way. But, interesting. So it's interesting to me on how the heart to mind, not just in the physical, but on how we exist spiritually, that, and of course on earth, it has to work together in some ways, on how our thought processes are, the way we feel about things and the way we do things, expect things, or freely give things, on how that's kind of, it's all there, handed down somehow. But is it all really in God's point of view? Uh, I don't know. It's something I think everyone around the world has to figure out on their own. And again, the similarities in the teachings all around the world, pretty fantastic, I think. Coincidence? I don't know. But again, how did people want to take that in one religion to the other? And then absolute extremism that can result from taking a thought in the teachings in the complete wrong direction. Right? Yeah. Same in the Bible. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to share this morning. It's cool out there. It's really foggy too. Interesting. I said on how amazingly super clear and, as I said, four-dimensional it was last night. And now it's all foggied up. Beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful to me too. Yes. Trying to see through the fog, right? To God, our own point of view. Trying to see through the fog to see God's point of view. Huh? Yes? Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to share this morning. God bless you and protect you all. And I will talk to you all another time.